General Data Protection Regulation effectively makes it easier for individuals to control how companies use their personal information, including data that allows those companies to track users as they browse the internet.
Well, firstly, in relation to organizations, they will have higher obligations under the GDPR, and individuals will also have greater rights under the GDPR. Importantly, though, these obligations and enhancements of rights are to counteract the new risks that have developed with the greater use of technology and greater reliance on the data that's available. But importantly, to be able to succeed in an environment where we are increasingly relying on the use of new technology and data, you need a robust data protection framework to succeed. So ultimately, it is there to protect and facilitate business going forward.
Many large online services and social media platforms have updated their privacy policies and terms of services. Facebook uploads 2.5 billion pieces of content every single day and is under the spotlight following the Cambridge Analytica scandal. But it's perhaps the smaller businesses who might find GDPR especially challenging, given they may not have the resources or the expertise to make sure they're able to adopt the new rules. And at stake is an eye-watering fine of €20 million or 4% of global GDP for breaches.
Well, what I would say is, first of all, for small businesses, don't panic. The GDPR actually requires regulators to take account of the needs of small businesses. So this will be the case. This does not mean that they're exempt. They need to respect the rights of individuals, but obviously the regulator in their approach will take into consideration the nature of small businesses. And at the same time, we are here to help if they require guidance in relation to the GDPR. The fines that can now be issued under the new law are significant, and they increased substantially, but it is important to take into account that the largest fines at the upper end of the scale will probably be reserved to the global tech giants should they act in breach of the law.
Many of us have received a flurry of emails from companies seeking explicit consent in order to continue processing data. But what happens if you don't reply? If
an organization is relying on consent, on your consent to send you direct marketing emails, then yes, if the standard of consent that they had obtained from you before the GDPR does not meet the GDPR standard, then they will need to renew that consent. In other cases, if you have established relationship with an organization and it's ongoing, they may not need consent to continue emailing you with their services. But ultimately, the new law gives individuals greater control and places greater obligations on organizations. So hopefully, in the area of spamming, for example, I do believe that we will see a significant improvement. Most importantly, the individual has greater rights now under the new law. So if you exercise those rights and opt out, then obviously you will be in a very good position, and should you continue to receive emails despite having opt out, then obviously if you contact us, we'll be able to investigate the matter.
GDPR is seen as the biggest shake-up of data privacy laws since the birth of the internet, and it's here to stay even after Brexit, though its effects won't be felt just in Europe but around the world.